I'll try that again. I just realized I tried turning off mute and it didn't work. Um, so yeah, welcome everybody. It's day 28 of NaNoWriMo 2020, and that means it's episode 28 of Prisma Arena, the animated series. I cannot believe I made it this far. This is it's the finale, so episode 7 of season 4. We've played through 4 seasons. Granted, our 30 days in the month of November. But this feels like a special moment because it's kind of like the end of the last major arc in the series. So yeah, it's kind of weird to have made it this far. The world of Silas has like just become so alive in my head now, having played this. It's a living, breathing place, which is kind of what my objective was to kind of move it out of just this kind of like rough concept to a world that I felt was kind of alive to help me with future game design and kind of world building. So it's done its job. For this last episode, I kind of do a summary, and then I've actually made a change to the game, something I want to try it. Of course, typically me like introducing it at the last minute, but the last episode ended with Damona's parents stepping into I can't remember what I called it, the kind of realm of apathy, to essentially, I think, like shut down the void that had been opened, and leaving Damona behind kind of yet again. So her parents had gone missing. She had just found them, and then she discovers, well, they're not really just kind of merchants, that they are streamers who protect the kind of and watch the timeline, the flow of time and the changings between the time of solace, hope, time of despair, hope, wonder, and apathy. And because the Dryans were trying to usher in the time of apathy kind of too early, they had to stop it. So they stepped into the void as a way of shutting it down, and I kind of feel like they're kind of on a quest on that side. But Damona got pulled back, and she's been separated from her parents again. And in that, I think like despair found an opening, and despair has started to kind of take her over. So I kind of hope this episode's going to be about that, but I don't know, because we'll see how the story keeps roll. In terms of other loose ends, there actually isn't a whole lot, apart from, I mean, we still have the followers of despair have been trying to have their eye on Vika as one of the last of their Conobats, but I think that's going to be like an ongoing thing. The children have been kind of brought to the Temple of Tanal. I think they're being looked after. Yeah, so I think the only kind of major thread is the parents being lost. Everything else I can kind of live with. I'm just going to look back through my other notes. So, but the only thing is about, I guess, the boba as well. Well, yeah, we still have kind of enemies in the school with the boba, but also there's that question of why the Guardians chose to side with the boba and not the Bazee. I'm not sure if we'll kind of resolve that in this episode. One change I have made, though, kind of, so myself and John, co-designer of the game, had been kind of talking about, if we were to do something else with create an expansion for Untold, what would it be? And I'm kind of planning to test some of those things over the next 3 days. Once we finish out the series, then I've got 2 other days to play, so I thought I'd kind of experiment with some of those ideas. So the first one I was able to get ready on time was basically additions to the reaction cards. So I've sleeved them because to try and hide what they look like. But I will switch to the notes in game view. Okay, so what we have done is introduced 5 new cards. So we have our kind of usual kind of reactions going on. But there's also kind of 5 other reaction cards that we've implemented on this. So we have, and forgive me, the kind of ink on the printer wasn't great, though they actually read okay here. So the first one is something breaks or is destroyed. So that's, if I bring up that card, that's what's going to happen as part of that. This one is things become entangled or untangled as a result of the hero's action. And then we have the balance tips. So the balance kind of shifts from one end to the other as part of that. And then the other one is something like gets away or escapes. I'm going to just click and double check I've got the wording on right. But I think it's like something just got away or is gone now. Yeah. So, and this one is like progress is halted or prevented, I think. Yeah. So the kind of the momentum of things happening is halted. Okay. So that should be interesting. Haven't played with these before, so we'll see what effect they have on the game. What I do like is we generally had one reaction for each outcome that required an action, so you're kind of always guaranteed to kind of get all of them. Whereas by adding in these 5, you never quite know which reactions you're going to get. And I kind of like that in any one given episode. So I'm going to set this up here. Pull this back, drink my coffee, and then we will jump in. So let's switch to the top-down view again. Dice. I changed a few dice as well. I actually brought back in, I think, some of the generic stuff, and I'm going to pull that back. Let me see. I think this thing is losing its balance there. So drink my coffee. I will jump in. Okay, so yeah. Again, I have always going into an episode, I kind of have an idea of what I'd like to have happen, or how, at least how I might want the episode to open. Because I'm really trying to think kind of like as if this was a cartoon, an animated show. So, but flipping the tile usually messes with that plan. So I'll see how it goes. I'm going to flip over the first tile, and the episode opens somewhere where people are fighting each other. Some ideas are already bubbling up. So I kind of want us to be back. I do want us to be back in the like academy and training. Okay, I'm going to try this and like really bring it down small, right? So I think we're kind of in the Prisma Arena, right? And it's kind of examination time, right? So that's, I'm going to use this to, just double tasking here. I'm going to use this to indicate it's examination time. And there are 2 groups fighting with each other. So I kind of need to bring in I think I need to bring in the boba at some point. So I'm going to use the bridge to indicate the boba as a kind of amphibian creatures. And yeah, I think things have gotten serious. So this training, so the episode opens and there is So it's kind of like the third year, fourth year, kind of fourth level students, and they are kind of doing their grades. Well, it's grading. I think it's grading time for everyone. So maybe, you know what? Maybe it's our year, right? So it's grading time for our year, which is kind of like essentially the first year, going from a novice to become a seeker. And we are training in the arena, having to kind of spar and fight with our Mokon when a fight breaks out between the Boba who are in our year and someone or something else. So who do they start fighting with? So, and the thing is, it shouldn't normally target the, like the general rule in the episode is it doesn't target the heroes initially. It's someone or something. So, okay, well, I'm just gonna say it is the there's different things I could use here. I think it is. I think if kind of a fight breaks out on the side of the court of the arena, and they're fighting with some seekers who are like the next level up. They're kind of like the second year students. And so they're fighting with them. Okay, so I'm gonna see. I think we're gonna. I think our training stops in the arena, and we kind of look over to see what's going on. So we've been dashing and blasting and striking, and everything kind of winds to a halt as we kind of look over and see this kind of shouting and blasting between. I'm gonna say it's two people in particular. So the Boba who was in our year, and the one from the older year, I think. So that was where have I got them out? Just looking. So it's Lasika and Curia. So Lasika is in our year and fighting with Curia, and they're fighting with an older student from year 2 who we recognize as Waskika. So they're they're a channeler. So I'm just making a note of that on my notebook. Okay, so what are they arguing over? So yeah, I think I'm going to go back to and kind of bring back in that story thread from before. So I think that Waskika is accusing Lasika of cheating, and getting assistance from Curia, the older student. So I think Waskika they're fighting over the fact that they believe Curia was assisting Lasika. And yeah, they're having a big tussle. and I think Waskika is outnumbered by the two of them. And he was kind of threatening, I think, to report them to the Guardians. So I think we're going to try and break it up. So I think Vika is going to try first going over and see if they can kind of break up the fight between the two of them, get in between the two of them, and well, we know they've been cheating actually. So hang on, is this going to do that? So I think we're going to I think we're actually going to confront Curia again and say, we thought you promised. Well, I thought we'd warned you about this in a previous episode. So I'm going to shuffle these and see what we get. They're having none of us. They're like, mind your own business, and we haven't forgotten about you trying to report us to the principal. Now, butt out. And I think we are. Well, we're not going to butt out. I think we are going to. I think we're going to use force now. I think we're going to kind of step forward and say, you know what, it's time for you to leave. And we kind of use the fact that we're the majority to kind of like kind of pressure them into leaving the arena. Okay, so we managed to get them out. But I'm going to say, so something about being enamored. I think Curia has a girlfriend. No, let's say boyfriend. Who is well, I was going to say harmonics. So they are also a boba channeler. And in relationship with Curia. Okay, but I think they step up and say, you haven't heard the last of this. Your time will come. No, hang on. So I'm doing that the wrong way around. So I think we don't manage to kind of pressure them out, but I think harmonics, Curia's boyfriend, comes up and says, come on, let's go, and manages to drag them both away. Or gets them to kind of like sit back down, I think, so they cool off a little bit. So I think we're going to ask, was Kiko, like, what were they doing? I think, well, we could type back in. They I can type back into an early episode. I think what Kika said, I saw them taking some kind of like drug or medication that, if we go all the way back, let me see. I'm just realizing I might have written down this thread. The coach had, Mr. Pawala had been given to his older students. We recognize it when Waskikia describes it. We're like, that's the stuff that Mr. Pawala was using with the the kind of like the jocks, and we kind of, I think, confront the others who have they've kind of backed off now, but we confront them and say, well, how did you get your hands on this? Tell us how you got your hands on it. So they don't tell us, but I think they don't tell us how they got their hands on it, but I think the younger student, Lasika, kind of breaks and says, and kind of admits, okay, look, we did cheat. Let's just leave it at that. Don't say anything else, please. We can't afford to get kicked out of the academy. So I think he's quite scared when we were kind of probing that subject. And I think we are going to... I think it's a good time to kind of move on, I think. So... No, I think we're going to turn to Curia and say to him, like, what's going on here? If this involves the coach, this is really, really serious. So I'm going to take that other... Okay. So I think he agrees to tell us. So I'm going to use that. So I'm going to use a question then. So what is it that happened? So what's going on? I think so. Curious says to us that I don't know anything about the coach. Right. Let me kind of zoom in high here on the dice. Dice 3. Okay, so it says I don't know anything what you're saying about the coach, but one of the, I think the jocks, we found it in one of the jocks' kind of lockers, and we decided to take it because so they come from the land they come from is, gotta check back over these things. They come from Qualia, which is the underwater land, and I think they are saying that kind of like they said that despair is getting kind of closer to their land, and we just don't have the numbers to protect it, and we have to, get through the academy at all costs in order to be able to protect our land. So let's see what actually happens. So that's what they're telling us, but they're up to something else. So after kind of starting by attacking Wastika, they What do they do? So looking at this, I've kind of different thoughts, and I should have shown. I think I did show the top-down view, but let me do it quickly. So the top-down view is they have a kind of a dark agenda. So there's something else. So they were attacking Kika, but they have another agenda, and that is. So what else do they want? I think they. I think this kind of ties into one of the cards we're kind of thinking to introduce. I think they actually want to take. So it could be they either want to target us and take us out of the way, but I think there's something else that they want to do. And I really want to get this test. So I think they. And it's funny now because some of these, I am stalling for time. Some of these icons have become so unlocked to mean certain things. I'm actually trying to like force myself. Like this one has always meant the kind of Ravona, the Ninja Raven, and I'm trying to kind of unpick that from my head. But actually, maybe that. So Endura is here, and they are training. So. I think that's it. I think we spot, so kind of shortly afterwards, whilst we're still training, we spot them talking to Endura, and they're kind of laughing and chatting to her, and we're kind of really concerned because like she's quite powerful, not necessarily in Prisma, but in other areas. She's kind of like a and she's a little bit older than us, so she's quite old for our year. And so I think kind of Curia, we spot him kind of later on sitting on the benches, kind of talking and laughing with her. And I think we kind of like race over to her to go like, what's going on? Can't trust them. And so I think they she said, no, it's fine. He was just offering me a drink, which I'm going to say is this, which also indicates the kind of the kind of the drug that they were taking. It's been kind of spiked, and she says like, no, we're just we're having a drink. He was talking to me about becoming like a Prisma Guardian, and you know how he wants it more than anything, and I can kind of really relate to that. Yeah, and I think she's going to say, and he's kind of cute as well. I'm kind of attracted to him. I might ask him out. And I think we tried to study her to kind of see if there's any effects from that drink. So has the drink had any effect on endurance? Okay, I think we kind of look closely, and we see her eyes have kind of dilated a little bit, and she, I think, kind of excuses herself and says she needs to go pee. So I'm kind of going to leave it like that. So we're chatting to her, and I think we're going to look around. So she kind of goes away, and we look around to see where Curia has gotten to. So I think we find Curia. I think he's kind of like that. We're still in the arena because it's quite kind of large in space. I think he's kind of sitting in the arena with harmonics, whilst the other first years are kind of, we're meant to be training. We're getting a bit distracted from our training, of course. And I'm going to use this symbol to indicate like he's acting all innocent and naive, like no idea what's going on. And so, but again, he's drugged. Like if so I think we approach him actually and kind of say, what have you done? Did you give Endure the drink, the drug? And he's like, well, I didn't give it to her so much as she took it. And yeah, if you kind of say anything about Lasika, I might just have to kind of throw a wrench in the works and mention that Endura has taken it as well. So don't mess with me. Eat. Okay, so Endura's taking the drug. If it's found out, she's probably going to get kicked out. That's going to ruin her chances of ever becoming a guardian after having just discovered, her starting to access her Prisma. So we got to go and do something about that. Is there someone we can talk to? And at the same time, I'm kind of thinking about like Demona and her parents. So I'm going to say Demona isn't here. So this, I guess, is kind of a flashback. Earlier, she hasn't had she's in a room. She's kind of refusing to take part in all of this. And we're really worried about her, or about them. So yeah, hopefully, I think that might tie in at some point. But the Mona isn't here, and I think they're poring over that book they have about apathy and the Dryans that they had acquired, and I think she's trying to research the. So I'm gonna, she's kind of gone off to research about the Inspirers of Wonder to figure out how they can contact them, because maybe they can help her to get her parents back. So we go to the. Okay, I think we go to report you know, say this one to the principal in their office. Again, I'm sorry, I forget sometimes to show this top-down view. So we're going to go to the principal's office again to report the no, I think we're going to go to like the locker room. So I'm going to use that to kind of indicate the kind of looking into the hatch into the locker room to try and catch. I think to look for evidence actually of this drug that they've been taking, and I should give that drug a name by now. So item, and I will call it the. I think its nickname is just called Split. And it's a kind of drug and performance enhancer. Okay, so we're going to go and look for evidence of Split in the locker room. And on our way there, I think we are intercepted by... Endura. And she kind of stops us in our tracks and says, Kyria told me what you're planning to do. If it's true that I've taken this, if you gave me this drug, you can't get me in trouble. You have to say nothing. And I think I think she said, I'm really, really sorry. And kind of unlocks us, I think, into the locker room. And I think so we're kind of banging on the doors, trying to get out. And we look to see if there's... Well, we're going to try and get the main door open. Well, we're going to try yelling for help, I think, is the first thing. Okay, so we call for help. But, so we call for help. But I think by the time we get at the door, Endura is gone. There's no sign. Well, we get the door open, but when we search for the Split, there's no sign of it in the locker room. So something has kind of gone or disappeared, got away. So I think we kind of race after Endura to try and catch up to her and kind of confront her. So we're going to try and catch up to Endura. No. And I think the scales have tipped. So I think what happens is, as we're looking for Endura, we hear like ding over the intercom. Could Vika, Jasan, and Lenore report to the principal's office, please? And we're like, oh no. I think they've turned us in before we get there. So my idea is we go there to the principal's office and they ask us to empty our pockets. And suddenly it dawns on us that we may have been set up. So I think we are going to plead our innocence. And I'm going to see how this phrase it. So we're going to plead our innocence. And luckily, I think there is nothing in our pockets, or we're able to convince them before we have to reveal our pockets. So I don't know whether that stuff's in there or not. And because I think we kind of feel the vials and we're like, oh crap, and we manage to persuade them and change. So I think the principle is kind of yes, and like we've had these reports of that you may have some split on you. You do know that's illegal, and will get you immediately kind of suspended. And I think we see kind of Curia outside the window, kind of smiling, waving at us, and we say, after all we've been through to protect the academy and the Prisma children, do you think we would kind of resort to split? If it's not us you need to be worried about. And I think the principal is like, yes, I would tend to agree with you, but I just have to investigate these kind of issues. And I think we ask, have you learned anything? We're going to use this as an opportunity to ask, have you learned anything more about Damona's parents whilst we're here? I know it's kind of like a side thing, but it makes sense. So I think we have sent one of our best guardians, basically, I think, into the portal. I think I can't remember if it was closed or not at the end of the last episode. I think it did. So I think, what are they doing? So what have you done to investigate the parents? So I think the principal says there have been very rare occasions when somebody who's entered that kind of realm of apathy has managed to return. But they are usually it's something they carry with them for quite a while, I think. So we have sent a guardian to investigate. There are other entry points into the realm of apathy, and so we have sent someone in to investigate. So there is a search on for Damona's parents. And I'm going to say it's a lone guardian. And I think they're working with the streamers as well. Okay. And they say, have you been, able to do anything to assist? So I think actually we're gonna just to kind of tie things in a little bit. I think we're gonna go and see. I think we're going to check in and see how Demona is doing. So I think when we get to her room, she is, they are incredibly restless and they haven't been sleeping. So we can kind of see the kind of marks going under their eyes, and we're incredibly worried. And I think they keep saying, maybe they're packing their bags and they're saying, I need to go find the Shruma. They were the last ones that my parents spoke to. They must know something about how I can get them back. And I think we try to convince her to convince Demona to just like, we'll come with you. Just let's like complete this year, like complete our assessment so that we can, when we get our break, we can go and we'll help you kind of search for your parents. She refuses. She says, no, this is too much. I'm quitting. You need to, just leave me alone. And I think they storm off. Oh no, we're gonna lose Demona. So I think Evil Master. Like the obvious one, I guess, is Kuria, the MOBA, who was directing them. And I wonder if there's anything else. I think so. I think we I don't know how I'm gonna make this work, but I'm kind of curious. So I think we are going to. So we go in search of Emdur, I think, to ask their help with Demona to like see if she can persuade Demona. She's slightly older, might be more convincing with them. And as we kind of turn the corner, we see Demona's having a kind of a hollow conversation with. I'm gonna see how I could have used this symbol. I think with her sister. Now I'm gonna see if there's another key that I can use. I think I'm just going to use this one. I think I'm going to use this to indicate her younger sister, who was in. I did have it actually. It was Keyport. Her sister from Keyport, who is a member of the Water Boys, and Tila, Endura's sister. So we see Tila kind of like letting rip at Endura in a way that I've never seen, and seen Endura kind of like, I think, scared for the first time. And she is ordering her. So I want to see what do we overhear? So her sister, who's kind of like 10, I think, 10 or 11, maybe pushing 12, actually, pushing 12. She is telling her that you have to do that she has to stay and spy on, like, in the she has to stick to the plan and stay and spy, and basically, you have to learn and graduate, because you are our ticket out of here. You're our ticket to, I guess, the Water Boys becoming kind of top dogs in Glorthan. I think they were based. Let me check organizations. Yes. So you're our ticket to basically gaining power within Glorthan. So I think we gotta confront her. Let's see. So I'm not sure how this is going to play out, but I think, like, the whistle is called and it's our turn to enter the arena for our assessment. And as we are training, so I think we're sparring the way we do, where it's like a 4-person match, and we're with Demona is missing, and Bob, their name, Masika, who's the Boba student, is kind of in our match as well. So I'm going to put them there. And they are kind of threatening us, and they're trying to throw us off our game. And I think we're getting kind of catcalls from Curia and Harmonix in the Isles. And as that is happening, so I think we're trying to deal with that. I think we're trying to maintain our focus in the arena as we're sparring. So I think I'm going to summon Sunna and Donna, who represents confidence, to basically our heroes are going to try and focus. So I think they kind of look at each other, Eleanor, Jasan, Vika. We kind of nod. The goal is we have to get to 20 points, and the fight starts. And I think immediately Lasica tries to kind of throw us off. He says, "If you don't let me win, I'm going to. I'll have no choice but to report Mjura." And I think he's trying to throw us off our game. So I think the first thing is to try and maintain focus on the match. Okay, so we do, but something is stopped or halted. So I think we're mid-match. We managed to keep our focus, but okay, I think the something is stopped, or like progress is halted. So it seems to make sense that the match is stopped, and so we're going to get captured in some way. So I'm trying to think. So the match is halted. We're able to focus, but just as we're kind of starting to rack up points in the game, I think so I could spin this off in new ways, but I'm really trying to tie in other elements. I think I think, okay, let me see how this goes. So I think, we managed to keep our focus, but suddenly the arena starts to glow and kind of pulsate, which is usually a cue that Hope is reacting in some way. So Hope is slumbering beneath us. Again, just as a kind of visual reference, I'll stick this under here. You can see, I'll go big screen with this. You can see Hope kind of slumbering here. We're up here in the arena training. So I think we're training, and then suddenly the arena starts to kind of pulse, and we all stop and look down and look at each other and go like, what is going on? This is sooner than expected. And I think so I think I'm going to have an idea. I don't know how this is going to pan out. Let me just kind of make it up as I go. So the arena starts to pulsate, and our heroes suddenly feel this, again, surge of kind of hope literally flowing through them, and it feels like they're transported somewhere else. They're in this kind of beautiful kind of rainbow lit world, and they see Hope there, an enormous being talking to them, and it's like they're kind of floating around Hope, and Hope begins to speak to them and say, you've grown so much in your time. You know, others may see you as kind of merely children. I see you for what you are, which is the embodiment of everything that I stand for. You have a friend who needs you dearly, and I'm going to give you the gifts that you need to help them. And so I think there's a kind of a bolt of energy and Prisma that kind of flows through the heroes as they all kind of like in the game power up. And as they all kind of say to Hope, we promise Damona's one of us. We won't let them. We didn't want them to go without us. And Hope says, hush now. It's okay. You'll be together. And I think the lights the colors start to fade, and when they get their bearings again, they realize they are kind of, they're sitting they see actually see Damona, who has been captured by so it's kind of, they're out in the wilderness. They don't know where they are, but they can see Damona, and Damona has been captured by some Arcanobots, I think. By, well, let's say an Arcanobot, and is kind of, carrying Damona, kind of like thrown over their shoulder. And just as we realize this, another one steps out. No, let's see. Actually, some kind of, I guess, soldiers step out, and they fire up a. So I'm going to say they're Dryan, and they, again, using their kind of arcanic equipment, they fire up a kind of a gray bubble around us. So it's kind of like a field of apathy around our heroes. And I think as they do that, Jasan is going to see if they can react really quickly and dive out of the way. No. But I think they catch someone. I think they kind of surprise the guard, the Dryan, by their reaction. And it kind of buys them some time to do something else. So I think it kind of, almost like by bouncing against the shield, it kind of throws the Dryan guard off. And I think Vika is going to call. I mean, Vika's completely shocked that there is another Arcanobot, and I think they call to them in a, I guess, like a secret language that they speak, calling for their attention, and essentially kind of hails them to try and get them to gauge if they're a friend or not. Okay, They are. I think the other Arcanobot turns and looks and just kind of drops Demona to the ground. And so I think Vika is going to ask the Arcanobot to kind of help us see if we can get out. Yeah, to kind of help release us. Okay, so they do. But so I think the Arcanobot advances on the guard holding the kind of the apathy field generator. And I think just kind of like reaches out and takes it out of their hands. But in doing so, I think the heroes are all no, I think the Dryan are like, we knew we shouldn't have trusted that Arcanobot, and they turn and I think they start to fire their weapons on this Arcanobot, who is kind of taking hits from them. So I think again, Jasan is going to. I think Eleanor is going to use one of her I think she's going to summon let me see, Inu as a way of distracting the guards as she kind of blasts them as well, just to try and distract them long enough. So it's her action. Okay, so she succeeds, but I think so. She succeeds, but they are. Is it the guards that are anchored? I think. Demona awakes and like is really angry and says like, "What are you doing here? Why did you follow me? I told you not to follow me." I'm like, well, your friend. Well, they said we'll explain, but not right now. And I think they, whilst the guards are distracted, they try to kind of flee into the. So I'm kind of assuming they're kind of. It's slightly a wooded area, and I think they are going to flee deeper into the woods or wherever they are with the other Arcanobot. So do they manage to succeed? Yes, they do. And I think so I'm going to use this and say that Demona, so they manage to escape and they run deeper into the forest, and they are, it's quiet, and they turn to Demona and explain to them what's going on, how Hope sent them to basically aid in the rescue of their parents. And I think Demona kind of reluctantly kind of accepts the help and says, well, it maybe you might be helpful. I was able to learn something from the Dryans when they captured me, and I have a plan. No, and I think there's a way I can get my parents back. And I think we will end on that there. So it's the end of the episode. I think we can say that the heroes have leveled up with the help of Hope, but also kind of catapulted them on to essentially aid their friend Demona in the search for their parents. Demona has some information that's going to help her. I think from reading the journal, actually, they were able to make sense of some of the things the Dryans were saying, and says, I think I have a way to get my parents back. So I'm going to look at the threads that we have. So the parents are still lost, and there is a search going on. I think I'm going to say our heroes are searching. I'm going to try and change how I word these. Must rescue Demona's parents from the realm of apathy. I think we have Water Boys plan to gain power in Glorthan using Endura. So Endura must kind of train and become the guardian to that, and therefore they are cheating. I think I'm going to say discover the kind of backstory of the other Arcanobot. So I'm going to kind of get rid of the Lost in the Realm of Apathy and just focus it on the fact that the heroes want to discover them. Okay. I think that is it. I think Jasan has managed to kind of learn to channel their Prisma, so I'm going to close that off. Endura's on the loose. No, not anymore, actually. And we're going to from the valley. I don't think we need to worry about that. The Boba want to exact revenge on their heroes. I think they've tried and failed. Okay, so I think that brings season 4 to an end. I am liking those new cards. I think they just add another bit of uncertainty and twist to the whole game. And I'll be keeping them in for the next 2 episodes. And I think I will also start to try some of the new tile cards. If I can kind of mock them up and get them stuck down in time, I'll do that as well. Not sure how I'm going to run the next 2 episodes, whether they're going to be like flashbacks or, you know what might be interesting is actually to do it from Endura's parents' perspective. Maybe we could do that. So we'll kind of shift the focus to them and what's happening in the realm of apathy. Yeah, that might be interesting. So anyway, thanks for watching. If you like Untold as a game system, it is available to buy, as always, and it's great to have people support what we're doing at Hub Games. You can follow us online at We Are Hub Games, and you can also pick up a copy of Prisma Arena. It's available to buy from our website. Again, wearehubgames.com. And yes, we'll see you back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. for episode 29. I think that's ultimately the penultimate episode for NaNoWriMo. And if you did like this or previous videos, hit like and subscribe. You can find the previous ones online on YouTube. We've created a playlist where you can find them all as well. Have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. So take care. Bye.